Please welcome to the stage the CPG guys, Peter V.S. Bond and Sri Rajagopalan.
Welcome to the CPG Guys podcast. It's a special episode for us. We are doing this live on stage at Nielsen Consumer 360 in Orlando, Florida. Wow, what a great event. For those of you who don't know me, I'm PVSB. I'm one of the aforementioned CPG guys. And when I'm not standing in front of a microphone podcasting, I'm also the VP of Partner Strategy and Development at Fetch Rewards. You heard from my CEO Wes Schroll a little bit earlier today. This podcast is dedicated to exploring how brands and retailers engage consumers in an increasingly digitally driven world. So we're very educationally focused, and we're going to try and take that approach today with our guest. As always, I'm joined on this journey by my co-pilot, my BFF, my fellow hack. He's an industry icon when it comes to e-commerce and more generally omnichannel. I call him the Lord of Los Angeles. He's best known as the man with one name. No, I'm not talking about Bono or Eminem or even Madonna. I'm talking about the man we call Sri. Sri, how are you? Can you believe we're here at Consumer 360? Isn't this awesome?
First of all, it feels awesome to be back at such a large forum. Congratulations, Nielsen, for actually pulling this off, getting everybody to come over here. It just feels good to be with human beings once again. But how am I doing? The Yankees are in first place, 26-9. For those who don't know, you can check your MLB app. If you didn't know by now, I'm from New York City, big Yankees fan. All I need is for Daniel Jones to deliver in the fall. Google Daniel Jones.
Always a baseball battle between us. He's in LA, a Yankee fan. I'm in Connecticut, I'm a Dodger fan.
What are the odds? We are going to the All-Star game, though.
We're going to the All-Star game. Look for us. We'll be on social media. Hey, we're pretty excited to get this episode started. We're going to do it with a live audience. Our first time doing a live audience, Sri. This is a little different, isn't it?
A live podcast. Who would have thought 2 years ago when we started this?
Go figure. We've got a really special guest. We're going to introduce her in a couple of minutes. But to our audience listening and the people here, don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn. Just take out your phone, open up your LinkedIn app, and enter in CPG Guys into the box, and you will find us. I'm not seeing anybody doing that, so I need you all. No, seriously, open up.
Hey.
Now here, I'm going to make it a little more, I'm going to sweeten the pot here, because I took a screen cap of the last person who followed us before we came on stage. So for all the people that are here that follow us during this presentation and this podcast episode, we're going to select one lucky person who's going to get some serious CPG Guys swag. And you know we've got a swag game going, right?
Show them your shoes.
Oh, have you seen my shoes? They're a little, is that too much? No? Okay. But seriously, take it out, follow us. It's where you can connect with the community we've created. We've got 13,000 people. There we go. I like it. More
there
followers.
It is.
Whoop.
I promised Whitney I wouldn't say that when she came on stage.
But seriously, love for you to follow us there.
I had to get it out.
Our podcast is available on like 40 plus platforms. Obviously Apple, obviously Spotify, but if you have a home voice OS, you can just ask Alexa to follow the CPG Guys and it'll come up and pop. So I probably just set off like 30 or 40 Alexas at home, didn't I, Sri?
You certainly did, man.
Okay, anyhow. You know, and the best thing about all of this and the content we create and post on LinkedIn, Sri, how much does it cost?
Absolutely nothing. We're an educational podcast. The mission remained the same 2 years ago when I called Peter and said, do you want to do this thing right at the upfront of COVID? We're here to share what we've had the luxury over 25 years in the industry of learning.
So this morning we heard some really great conversations. I like the one with Craig Dubitsky. Was there anything that kind of drew your attention?
Yeah. First, before I even go down that path, Peter, the first thing I'm going to say is a lot of people asked me, many of you asked me last night, this morning, what happens, because now we know, Craig said every day is a Monday, since every day is a Monday, what do you do during the sunlight hours? So when the sun rises and before the sun sets, I'm actually Chief Customer Officer for a company that makes food the world loves. If you've heard of Cheerios, Honey Nut Cheerios, Lucky Charms, Betty Crocker, I am the North America Chief Customer Officer and own the relationship with the retailers. I've got a few observations. First of all, yesterday, today, Craig, John, our keynote speaker from yesterday, and also Bethany Frankel. First of all, I wanted to share some common traits between Bethany and me. Number one,
you're gonna associate
I'm gonna try.
you and Bethany.
I'm gonna try, man.
Okay,
I'm gonna try.
It's gonna be a good try.
Homebody. I love spending time with the fam. LA is home, like he said. I'm not the Lord of Los Angeles, but I do live in Los Angeles. Believe it or not, I am introverted. You laugh, Peter laughs, but hey. And one of the things that really touched me yesterday, as John rightfully said, was, what do you do for yourself, right? It's a challenge and a question to all of you as well. What do you do for yourself? We usually forget because we're running 800 miles an hour. Life moves on. And it was the last question that was asked of Bethany as well. So Peter inspired me a year ago when he gave up drinking alcohol. I gave up drinking alcohol a few months ago. And thanks to Bethany, I now know I can call it as I too am an equal opportunity beverage drinker, and I love my water.
There you go.
We both don't like makeup, wink, wink. That one intrigued me, especially since in the green room when we were chatting, and I think it was on stage as well, we talked about hyaluronic acid as one of the ingredients. And I started thinking to myself, previous role working for a beauty company twice over, anti-aging is all about hyaluronic acid. Now, people go to prison for actually throwing acid on somebody. And how we program the world to believe saying acid is an ingredient is actually pretty cool, because even when I look for anti-aging products, I'm looking for hyaluronic acid because it is the game changer. So Craig inspired me to really think afresh, right? Talk to consumers, customers, the way they want to be talked to. And then finally, Bethany and I are both skinny.
Me too.
Peter and I failed that mission. That's why we're not.
We could have gone with Skinny Guys podcast.
That's why we're not Skinny Guys.
That would have played very well. We have to be authentic, right?
Couple other things, Peter, that I picked up. A key message post-COVID that I hope resonates with every single one of you, which is, are you looking back or bouncing forward? Like everything you learned here, I really don't enjoy it when someone asks me, oh my gosh, we're going to return to normal again. We live in a different world, a world that's very different from 2 years ago. So how do you bounce forward? One pet peeve of mine, please don't say brick and mortar, please don't say e-commerce. I've lived that journey, day one of e-commerce, starting 2013. It's an omnichannel world, whether we like it or not. Consumers buy stuff when they want to, how they want to. They engage on a device, and yes, they do still engage in front of a brick and mortar shelf. And the next statement that I heard was progressive with purpose. Yep. Everything Craig talked about, if you sum it down, distill it down, is progressive with purpose. Customer. I won't use the word consumer anymore, but each one of you is a customer of 20 things. The glass of water you're drinking right now, you're a customer. You're people. Thank you.
He said people.
Thank you. This is how we bicker all the time. So
we just stay together for the kids.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah. Someday they will grow up. What do we do?
What do we do?
I don't know, man. I don't know. So
we're going to have to move to Del Boca Vista. I think that'll be the place. Yeah, Seinfeld fans? Okay, you understand.
I'm staying in California.
Okay, good.
75 degrees every day. I like to rub it in East Connecticut. But you are a people. You are a people, correct? You are? You consume stuff every day. You buy things every day. Whenever you represent a brand, that could be pushing analytics out, data out, decisions such as branding, placement on the shelf. Ask yourself a question, even if you're not a consumer or user of that exact product. What would I do? That's how your customer, your peoples are going to behave. Your peeps are going to behave.
I'm thinking we may have incorrectly named our podcast.
You're right.
After Craig.
The people's guys.
The PPG guys. People packaged goods.
Yes. So I'm happy to announce, Craig, I don't know if you're here, if you left, you inspired us to actually own the domain now, ppgguys.com.
While he was talking, we went on to Namecheap and bought the domain.
For real, we actually have that.
So we're converting. You've heard it right here. We're the
last two messages, Peter. Fall in love with the problem.
Yeah.
Identify the problem, fall in love with it. And this one will stay with me for life. I'm actually going to get a shirt that says it. Take care of the magic. The math will follow.
Yeah.
25 years, often at time I've been making decisions on the basis of math. I will commit to taking care of the magic. I know the math will follow.
All right, Shri, well, enough of us rambling on.
There you go.
Let's get to our guest here. We have a very special guest. It's her third appearance on our podcast. She's an industry thought leader with an outstanding career with roles at great companies like Inmar and Kellogg prior to January of 2020 when she joined the world's most elite retailer, Walmart, where she now serves as the Senior Director of Omnichannel Transformation and Commercialization. Please join the CPG guys in welcoming to the stage Whitney Cooper. Whitney? Whitney, I know that you were sitting there going, when are these guys going to stop talking?
I totally was.
I know, you were standing there in heels and we were rambling on, but welcome to the podcast. So glad to have you here. How was your trip to Orlando? Everything go okay?
I mean, aside from, losing my luggage, yes, I did check a bag for 2 days. Don't judge, need options. Aside from my luggage getting lost, everything was really good.
Yeah.
It got found, don't worry. This isn't Sri's outfit, by the way.
Well, we're really excited.
I would wear it if I could. I failed the skinny part, remember, we already announced it.
We've covered it.
Oh my goodness. Now this is your third appearance on the podcast.
Where's my jacket?
Oh yeah, she said after 5 we got to be like SNL and give her one of those smoking jackets that
Whoa, educational podcast. SNL.
Oh yeah, I said SNL, Saturday Night Live, for those of you who don't know. We do nothing more. Our biggest thing we do on the podcast is break down acronyms so everyone understands what we're talking about. But yes, Whitney, we're having it designed now. 2 more episodes, you get your custom smoking jacket.
CPG Guys Hall of Famer, how about that? So happy to have you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming out to Nielsen IQ and being part of the peoples. And we have episode 200 going out on Wednesday. We actually have Seth Dallaire, the Chief Revenue Officer of Walmart. Whitney's episode will go out on Saturday, so y'all can actually hear yourselves on Saturday. How about that?
The louder you clap for Whitney, the more you can hear it on the podcast.
There you go. You can hear yourselves, peeps. So Whitney, you recently got promoted, Senior Director of Transformation and Commercialization. World's most elite retailer. I say that publicly all the time. My largest customer in my day job. And talk to us about the word. What does this mean, commercialization at Walmart? And then your specific role, it has the word commercialization in it. So bring it together.
So first off, thanks so much for having us here. I'm really excited. This is my first time on stage in 2 years. So it's really physically. So it's just awesome to be out here. Honestly, it's awesome. Thank you. I get this question all the time from people. What is, you think about just the idea of transformation inside of a company like Walmart. Everyone's like, what exactly do you do all day? And the best way to think about it is really in 2 parts. When you think about the evolution of, retail media, when we decided to in-house what at the time was Walmart Media Group, and evolve it from the partnership with Triad, someone very smart, I don't know who, realized that in order to do this the right way, you've got a 60-year-old, very strong merchandising organization with this, new upcoming group of people from Florida or California or New York, but not in Bentonville. And in order to really make this thing come alive, we needed to create a new way of operating, a new way of thinking inside of the organization. And so I was brought in to help be the glue, mediator, make jokes about, this Walmart thing doesn't work out, and I'm definitely going to go to law school. Mediator, translator between all of these different groups inside of the organization, merchandising, site operations team, marketing, and Walmart Connect, to really drive a new model for how we build the retail business. So that's the transformation part of, what I do all day. When it comes to the next generation of retail media, we've been in this thing now for 3 years. So since we brought it in-house, and the reality of it is we've been super focused on creating best-in-class products for our advertisers to use to speak to our customers. Highly focused, obviously, in the digital space. But when you think about what our value proposition is, with the strength of our 4,700 stores and the network that we have, I'm going to go back to what I said 4 seconds ago. It's our stores. And in order to really create awesome experiences for our customers, suppliers, advertisers need to be able to speak to our customers in the stores. So I now am leading the efforts in coordination. I say that, but it's in coordination with the operators out in the stores, with our next generation tech team out in California, with our store of the future team in Bentonville, to create and commercialize right way to do advertising in the store. So it's, as you can imagine, a complex effort, but it's an incredible thing to be a part of, and super excited about it.
I love that you said the word like store 4 times in there, because it's often easy in this disruption to forget about the store and think everything is digital and e-commerce. It's omnichannel. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Whitney, it's fairly undeniable that the pandemic shaped the future of omnichannel commerce. Would love to hear from you what your perspective is on the key components playing out over the last 2 years that have dramatically accelerated this.
I mean, the last 2 years have really been a time of uncertainty, experimentation, and consolidation for us. No industry or sector has been untouched by this. It's been hard and tough on everybody across the world. The interesting thing about this is that it really allowed us to look at and really hone in on what was the trends and the customer, looking at what our customer was really doing out in the store. And we started to really think about, what does commerce on customers' terms mean? I'm going to talk about Walmart Illuminate here in just a few minutes, but once we started engaging that tool and really seeing what was happening, we've learned a lot. And 69% of our customers changed the way that they shopped during the pandemic. Obviously, the acceleration of e-commerce originally was driven by health and safety concerns, but what we've seen is that actually has created new behavior. So the adoption, once people figured out, wait a second, I can have groceries actually delivered into my refrigerator while I'm at home on Zooms all day, and I don't have to actually go into the store. Or wait a minute, once I actually figure out how to use the app, this is super convenient. This stuff has been very sticky. So that's been the biggest aha for us, is just the diversification of how our customers are shopping. It's not it's not either or, it truly is an and across the board.
Yeah, Sheree and I have talked about this before. For me, the advent of Scan and Go has dramatically increased my use of Walmart as a retailer and actually going into physical stores. What a great concept.
Yeah, excited to see, referencing Sam's Club, their Scan and Go experience is incredible. Yep. So really excited about what's happening on our side of the fence with that.
The shelf tag still matters, y'all. It just happens to be increasingly more digital. Whitney, if I look at your background, right, you've been with an agency. You've obviously come from some of the most elite brands in the world, and actually previously a competitor. How funny is that? And now you're in retail, you've covered the spectrum of this. So I feel you're best qualified to kind of coach us a little bit on retail media. Retail media is literally the hottest buzzword in the industry these days, right? Every retailer, you name it, is now coming up with a retail media platform of some sort. How many of you represent brands over here?
See a lot of hands.
See some hands.
Let's say about 50% of the audience is brands, another 25 is just shy. They don't
I know.
Tough to raise hands.
You burn a calorie every time you lift your arm. So
Peter and I
good
actually looked up the audience list, so we cheated. That said, I'm sure you're getting hit up with an ask for retail media, right? So like I said, most retailers now have a retail media platform, but not every retail media platform is made today for being exactly what a brand would want. What are successful components of a retail media platform, and what makes one given retail media platform like elite versus another, which is still starting up or early in its maturity?
It's crazy how big this thing has gotten. And I step back and think about this. I remember, back in my shopper days, those words were just a whisper. And now it's incredible to see how now that's like, it's a thing. I can remember sitting, with executives trying to talk them into believing that this was a real thing. And it's here to stay. So it's interesting to observe. I'll tell you from having worked on the brand side with several different media companies and just seeing this evolution over the last really 10 years. Ultimately, I think retail media networks that are looking at the full, and that's one thing that we're very focused on right now. When you think about the full spectrum of that funnel, and obviously we're a retailer. We are here to serve our customers, but we're here to sell stuff, right? We're also here to help brands drive awareness. So when you think about that full funnel of experiences, I think having the lens of how I'm going to talk to the customer, regardless of where he or she or they are shopping at any point in time, is really, really, really important. And I would say kind of the ingredient list here is retail media networks that are creating those opportunities in the physical space, super important. I'm not just saying that because I'm representing the team that's building that, but just having ran those shopper budgets and having ran a P&L, I think that's super, super important, because as we all know, it truly is omni. It's not just digital, it has to be physical as well. I think another thing that's really important to think about too is like how you're speaking to your customers and how you're working with merchandising is an important factor as well. It's one of those things where I'm answering this halfway with my supplier hat on and half with my Walmart hat on. But having a strong retail media network that is integrated into the business is very important. I'm going to talk more about that in a little bit, but that was one of the first things I focused on when I joined the company is it cannot be us and them, it has to be a they in order for it to truly drive the business. At the end of the day, impressions matter, clicks matter, ROAS matters, but sales lift, incrementality, and really driving and growing a brand and really moving the business. That's the stuff that I don't want to say that matters, but that's what creates long-term growth for everybody. So those are the things that we're really focused on. And I think, several other players in the industry are doing the same thing. But for us, it's about the scale of which we're able to do it.
I love what you said about having to integrate the two. I worked at a retailer at one point, and I remember getting ready to go to the annual operating plan, and they were putting their books together, and 5 minutes before we walked in, they realized, we need something from the digital team. Picks up the phone and says, hey, do you have any slides you want to include in my deck? And they emailed it over. That's not a very integrated strategy. So I totally understand that. So in that light, let's talk a little bit about the connection of physical and digital happening at Walmart and how you have to think about that vis-a-vis your shoppers. Should CPG, this is a bit of a leading question, but should CPG brands now pay attention to the store shelf connected closely to the digital shelf? Because we all walk into stores with these devices. I know you have some really interesting data around that. What is the role of content in having an impact on physical store activities?
So I'm gonna go back to say I've talked a lot about this over the last couple years, and at the end of the day, I mentioned Walmart's been around for 60 years, best in class. We know how to run a store. We have the best operators in the industry. There's a formula. It is tried and true. It works. Stack them high and watch them fly, as Mr. Sam used to say. In the digital space, it's been so interesting, and I know there's a lot of category management folks in the room. Think about, we've created whole disciplines, whole teams focused on category management in the physical shelf. Like, think about how many meetings all of you've been in that you're just focused on the aisle and the shelf experience and packaging and placement. And the big push that we are making right now inside of our organization as well, like, let's be honest, it's a new muscle for a lot of people. It's not the class of omni merchant. It's a new breed of unicorns that are being developed across the industry right now that understand both the physical space and the digital space. And where we're seeing, I think our best supplier partners are having the most success are the folks that are they're creating that discipline on the on the digital side as well. So for us, it's thinking about, if you go on a store walk with, some of our senior executives, they walk in and that doesn't need to be there, that needs to be up, ooh, that doesn't feel right, that's distracting. We're creating that same type of mentality and having, we're all looking at the site every day, we're shopping, we're walking our digital store. So I think, knowing that we are hyper-focused on that, I think the brands that are really succeeding in this space are also taking that same mentality inside of their organizations. They're creating digital shelf teams. They're creating, the next breed unicorn category managers that understand that digital space. And I, personally, supplier hat, personally on the content side, I mean, having best-in-class content is now it's a table stakes. You have to have that. And I think that's something that it's really interesting. It's been shocking to see some of the brands that you would think would be, very innovative, still be behind. So, we found that, and this is really interesting, just most recently we ran a study, we actually found that 82% of our food and beverage customers that are in the store, they actually use their phone while they're shopping.
That
in
is
the store.
huge. Did you hear that? 82% of people who are shopping physical Walmart stores are using the mobile app or the site to help them.
Moment.
That's huge.
Yeah, and just a quick correct for everybody who's taking notes in here. It was a survey we did, and we conducted this research study. And out of the folks surveyed, 82% in the food and beverage aisle, which I think is really interesting because they weren't shopping, ETS or electronics. They were actually looking at reviews and looking at content on our site in the store. So when you think about reviews and you think about the power of reviews, I think a lot of people think about reviews like, oh, I don't need to do a review for a box of Cheerios. Everyone knows no one looks at that. That's not true. I think, especially with fast-moving consumer goods, having reviews is just as crucial. And we actually have the data to prove it. And what's so interesting about this, out of that 82%, it wasn't just once. They were doing this 2 to 4 times during the trip. Enormous. So when you're looking at the data, it's kind of undeniable how important the content is.
Yeah. For category managers in the room, the way I've been trained over 25 years, it was always about merch dollars and the POG. Today, it's about search and retail media, as you just said so, content, the user experience, and then ratings and reviews. Think like people, like peeps, like yourselves, right? You go to blah.com and you're looking at ratings and reviews before making decisions. No different for what people buy from you.
Yeah.
All right, so you use some words there, such as sell stuff. Drive awareness.
That's an industry term.
Very professional.
Sell stuff. That's very technical.
It is?
It is.
We're here to sell stuff.
I want to be trained how to sell stuff.
Serve our
I'm
customers.
still learning. Yeah. Serve our customers. So, if I look at all those words and I try to bring them back into retail media that you briefly touched this earlier, right, about the full funnel. Retail media immediately gives a knee-jerk reaction. It's all about search and the paid search, and that's what it is, which coming from a sales background, that's all about the number of units I can push. But to me, what I'm learning is retail media is first about what it's always been: audience acquisition, consumer engagement, and then, like I was taught this morning, if you get the magic right, the math will show up. Thoughts?
I love that. I mentioned earlier, we're super focused on it's not just about the performance piece of it. It's also, when you think about upper funnel, that is as equally as important. And it's an interesting tango and dance, excuse me. It's a dance because I think those, the skill sets and the people that you're hiring, and face this internally, but I know also externally in your organizations. It's very different skill sets with hands-on keyboards and then like brand management. So as we're thinking through how we're building this out, ultimately, like our mission is to create opportunities for our advertisers to engage, whether it's at the moment of truth on the shelf, or it's when a customer is sitting watching TV. We are here to allow that engagement, right? One of the things that we're focused on, we recently announced the Walmart DSP. So that was
congratulations.
That was
DSP, that's
demand side platform.
There we go.
I know I'm using acronyms.
That's okay.
I can pull out the EDPs.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Keep you on the straight and narrow.
Straight and narrow. But traditionally, this format's upper funnel things like connected TV, but for the first time ever in Walmart history, we're actually now bringing that inside of under our wing. So I'll leave it to say, here to sell stuff, but we're also here to help our advertisers build their brands.
Thank you.
All right, now we're getting to the question that I've been waiting to get to. Sri, your favorite topic is what?
It's always been the same. Go for it.
It's retail media. Mine is all about loyalty and understanding consumer behavior, because I have a customer data science.
Can I let the audience know how many of you shop at a CVS?
Oh, we're going to go there.
This gentleman holds the distinction of actually creating the 6-foot-long register receipt.
I'm sorry.
Next time y'all go conjure, I'm not kidding, folks, for real. Next time it'll conjure Peter Bond's head. Will show up in your mind as you buy something at a CVS.
My apologies if you've ever had to deal with it, but that's another story. Anyhow, no, my favorite topic is customer data science, and I want to talk about Walmart Luminate, because Walmart Luminate is now starting to touch brands in a lot of their everyday decision making. So can you briefly describe what it is and talk about how you think brands should be leveraging this revolutionary new solution around shopper insights at Walmart?
Absolutely. So prior to this tool, there's so many, let's have a hashtag let's be honest moment here. There's so many different tools inside of the Walmart ecosystem, both internally and externally, that people use, right? To try to figure out how to run the business. All of that inconsistency, we took a step back, like this is really hindering, originally I had the word innovation in here, but Craig says we're not allowed to use it, so we're not using innovation. It was really hindering our ability to be agile. And it was, a lot of times could create a paralysis of decision making, right? So the whole reason we created this tool was to allow both our merchants and our supplier partners to really be able to run the business more effectively and a lot faster, and drive really more complete, faster decision making, right? There's a deep hole I could go into on this and like geek out on everything about Luminate, but we have 7 minutes and 50 seconds, so I'm gonna go through it pretty quickly.
Sure.
Feel free to reach out and we can hook you up if you have specific questions. We can talk more about it. But when you think about what Walmart Luminate is, it truly is an end-to-end data suite that is addressing the pain points I just mentioned. When you think about the 3 different modules. So there's 3 different modules it's built into. So one is shopper behavior. So it's really understanding what are the behaviors and what's the profile of the folks that are shopping my category and my brands. The second tool is customer perception. So this one is really exciting. We've gone through evolutions of there's Spark panel and different panels that we've used over the years to really derive customer input. But we're really excited about customer perception because it's this panel of verified Walmart shoppers. So when you're thinking about brand architecture or price pack architecture and trying to decide packaging and flavors and things like that, we're able to use this panel to help influence those decisions, right? And then lastly, and this is the one I personally, just being a student of Walmart and having kind of grown up in the Walmart ecosystem, I'm really excited about this one, is channel performance. I'm excited about channel performance. I haven't said that very much. When you think about channel performance, that's really the where of the three. You think about omnichannel sales, inventory optimization and forecasting. That tool is going to enable our suppliers to really truly drive their business. So that's the full suite, and this is a iterative process of building this out. So we're really listening to our suppliers' needs and figuring out what data they need to run the business. And I think that's going to drive the evolution for the next few years.
For those of you that do follow us, tomorrow's episode with Seth, actually, I go into quite a bit of a rat hole with Walmart Illuminate, and I ask him my favorite question, which I obsess over every Sunday evening when I look at all my scorecards, and that is the all-important share metric and answering if you can get competitive data sets as well. So do tune in for that one. Whitney, unfortunately, this is the last question. I'm so sorry. But Peter and I will be at the Nielsen booth the rest of the afternoon. Y'all can come by, just hang out with us, chat with us, and I'd love to talk about how the Yankee ERA is actually, starting pitcher ERA is below 2. But Whitney, 25 years I've been doing store walks in Bentonville. I noticed a post on LinkedIn by Walmart, store 5191. It says an experiential event pilot. What does it mean? And should everybody be going for store walks?
So very excited about this. And no, you don't have to go to Forney, Texas in order to experience this. I mentioned at the start of this that we're focused on really now utilizing our stores in the right way. We are not going for Vegas here. We have to create really great experiences that truly make sense, not just to our customer, but also for our brands. When you think about actually creating full omni-channel, on the site, in the store, a lot of shopper marketers, and I've been guilty of this too. Imagine how many of you have created that slide. It's 360 omni-channel activation at Walmart, and it's we're doing this, we're doing this. This is the first time that we have brought this in-house where we are going to enable that. We are going to be working very closely with our agency partners. Advantage is one of them, to turn on the experiential. So now instead of having to work with multiple agencies to do any type of retailtainment or experiential event inside of the store and it not count towards your Walmart Connect JBP, we kicked it off 2 weekends ago, where we're going to be launching that this year. That's a huge deal for advertisers that have been asking for it for years. So that's part one. Part two is also when you think about all of the different screens in the store, the registers, your phone, the TV wall. We piloted last year and launched 2 ad experiences on our self-checkouts and the TV wall, and we've learned a lot. And those have to be optimized, and we're working on that right now. But when you think again about being able to fully utilize the power of the store footprint, that's a pretty big deal. So we have built out the team. We've got some incredible talent we've brought in across the industry, and that is going to be the next gen of retail media, and we're really excited about it.
I'm going to be there at 5191. Sorry.
I want to remind our audience, both listening in on the podcast and everybody here at Nielsen Consumer 360, to go to cpgguys.com, choose your preferred podcast platform, and subscribe to our podcast. And of course, follow us on LinkedIn. We're going to give one lucky winner some CPG Guys swag. And afterwards, Sri mentioned, we're going to be over in the product showcase. If you want to come by, stop and say hi, ask some questions, take some photos, we're happy to do that. So I know my friend Steve Saul here from Nielsen IQ's got his CPG Guys t-shirt. So get it on, come on down, we'll do a photo with you. But Whitney, thanks so much for joining us on stage here. Really loved having you as a guest, and thanks for sharing so much about what's going on at Walmart.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right. And Sri, as always, love this journey. This is our 201st episode. Can't believe it. What a journey we're on together. Having so much fun doing it with you. Couldn't imagine doing it with anyone else. Thank you for joining me.
Peter, thank you. Thank you, Nielsen IQ, for having us and letting us do what we love to do, which is really chat and share everything We've learned about the industry, that too with a great friend of ours, Whitney. Challenge for every single one of you. It's the same challenge that was given last night, earlier this morning, which is do something for yourself. Think about yourself. You matter. Write your story. Own your script. And most importantly, let's make history happen together. Thanks, y'all.
All right. Thank you, everyone. The content in this podcast episode is provided for general informational purposes only. By listening to our episode, you understand that no information contained in this episode should be construed as advice from CPG Guys LLC or the individual author, hosts, or guests, nor is it intended to be a substitute for research on any subject matter. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by CPG Guys LLC. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The views expressed by CPG Guys LLC do not represent the views of their employers or the entity they represent. CPG Guys LLC expressly disclaims any and all liability or responsibility for any direct, indirect, incidental, special, consequential, or other damages arising out of any individual's use of, reference to, or inability to use this podcast or the information we present in this podcast.